My name is Praveena Mittal. I am the president of Vishwa Hindu Parishad in Western Australia. And I'm also the convener of the Hindu organizations Temples and Association in Western Australia. So we are very fortunate we've been able to organize this because I know what interfaith marriages is a very big issue in our community, in any community, but yes, for all of us who live overseas, it is. And I think I will introduce Shashi Holla ji. Shashi Holla ji is going to host the event. Dr. Shashi Holla is a practicing pharmacist here in Western Australia. He has a master's degree in public health from Monash University. He's been the zone chairperson for WA Lions International twice, and twice he's been president of Lions Club of Lake Grace. Before migrating to Australia in 2008, he has worked for the Ministry of Health in Botswana for a decade. And Shashi ji is a columnist at Pathos, focusing on Hindu civilizational matters. He published his first book last year, India, Australia, Bharat's Legacy of History, Connection and Diaspora. And we really value his opinion immensely.
Thank you very much, Praveena ji. Thank you very much, Praveena ji. Thank you very much, Dr. Amin ji. Namaste to everyone on a Sunday morning. We are about to start our webinar on interfaith marriages, challenges and reconciliation. Interfaith marriages, a Hindu perspective. The marriage between a dharmic faith and an Abrahamic religion. Broadly speaking, dharmic faith encompasses Hinduism, Buddhism, Sikhism, and Jainism, whereas an Abrahamic religion is Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. For all practical purpose, we also include interracial marriages. I'm Shashi Holla, your host. Thank you for joining us from around Australia. Today's registrants for our webinar are not limited to the members of Hindu Diaspora. They include Hindu chaplains, community leaders, various associations and organizations across Australia. At this webinar on interfaith marriages, a Hindu perspective, is organized by Vishwa Hindu Parishad and is going to start any time from now. The purpose of this webinar is to educate and promote equality in interfaith relationships. The ultimate aim is to prevent conversion and promote equality. Share your own heritage if you are involved in an interfaith marriage. Now, Dr. Dilip Amin ji is from USA and he is a special guest and he is the main speaker for today's session. I had the privilege to undertake a course on interfaith marriage from Dr. Dilip Amin ji last year through Hindu University of America. Of course, he teaches at Hindu University of America. The course was highly enriching and extremely insightful, and hence I recommend this course to everyone, those who are present here today, because this is a special audience, so that you can become an interfaith marriage consultant. Now, people are joining us across Australia from New South Wales, Queensland, Perth, and even from as far as United States of America. And we will wait for a few more minutes so that more people can board in. In the meantime, I will just think aloud about two Hindu paradoxes which is prevailing in contemporary times. The two Hindu paradoxes are self-generated, okay? And they are affecting our unity and continuity of our dharma. According to me, the first Hindu paradox, it falls under the realm of freedom of religion. The concept of freedom of religion is different for Abrahamic faith and dharmic faith. For a dharmic faith, for a Hindu person, for example, freedom of religion means freedom to retain or preserve his traditions. But for broadly speaking, for an Abrahamic religion, freedom of religion means freedom to convert others into their fold without any hindrance. There is an asymmetry here. So, this is the fundamental difference between the Brahmic and Abrahamic faith in terms of conceptual framework of religious ideology. Of course, Hindus take pride in their traditions, but on the interface with the exclusivist faith, they become clueless. They don't know how to tackle them, and hence, Hindus become the object for digestion, appropriation, assimilation, formal conversion, and complete conversion. So, this is the first Hindu paradox. The second Hindu paradox, the second one, it fall under the domain of religion and love itself. Most probably you are aware, religion and love both are foreign concept for Hinduism, but we internalized it to go with the flow. For a modern Hindu mind, religion and love and relationships, they should be apolitical and they should be purely a private affair. To think that religion and love and relationships are beyond social and political reality is a naivety. It is not a spiritual wisdom. The religious institutions affiliated with monotheistic faith, they have a huge say in the institution of marriage, unlike our dharmic faith. The governments, judges, courts, social institutions, they have a huge role to play in framing the rules and regulations about marriage and relationship. After all, religion forms the culture, culture forms the community, community gives the identity formation. So even the personal relationships, it can be an avenue for identity formation and religious expansion. To think that these are not intertwined amounts to suicidal empathy, I would say. It will be a suicidal empathy. So, who better than Dr. Dilip Aminji to delve into such intricacies? He is a stalwart among Hindu community in US. He is the founder of interfaithshadi.org and he is the founder of hinduspeakers.org. And exactly 20 years back, 2006, in the month of May, he started his mission researching about interfaith marriages. Probably he can talk more during his presentation. And he is a Hindu chaplain. There are a lot of chaplains present here today. He is a jail chaplain, and he is an acclaimed author of 5 books on interfaith marriages as well as related to marriages. And of course, he has got a doctorate in pharmacology. He spent more than 4 decades in researching about medicines. He has got 17 scientific publications, sorry, 23 scientific publications and 7 patents in his kitty. And he's also the director of Multi Faith Coalition in San Francisco Bay Area. So he is a Dharma ambassador and
Very much, Australia. Thank you for this invitation. See, today's topic is deeply important for survival of Hinduism and for the continuation of your culture and heritage. Even if you spend 30 minutes with me today, you will gain insights that will help you avert a major disaster in your life. So, today's subject matter is interfaith marriages. In United States, 38% of Hindus marry outside Hindu fold, and that is to Christian, Jews, or Muslim. 38%. So I don't know the exact numbers in Australia, but this is definitely a global trend. Now, before I go further, let me clarify clearly that I am not for or against interfaith marriages. It is an individual to decide what is right or wrong for oneself. But I wish you make fully informed decision, whatever that is. Now, if you ask me, that Dr. Amin, I don't need much. Tell me just one word, one word. What is your message? One word, because my daughter is already in love relationship with Muhammad. So, or Jennifer, Sunny with Jennifer. So my recommendation is very simple. Equality. 50-50 when it comes to religion and culture. So tell the other party that I will not ask, never ask for 51%, nor I will settle for 49%. Isn't it fair? See, once any in interfaith marriage, when the equality becomes a gold standard, many difficult questions become very easy. Equality means no conversion. Equality means both traditions to be respected. And equality means children will have both faiths. So if other side refuses the equality and insists on their exclusivist supremacist ideology, then the deeper issue becomes very visible to your son or daughter. And if you are in that position, you will see that clearly, this is not what I'm looking forward to. And you did your job. Now, I've been working on this field essay for last 20 years, and I made total 4 observations, and I want to share with you. Number 1, 20 years before, Hindus were full to convert for interfaith marriage with Christians and Jews, Christian Jews and Muslims. Now Hindus have got smart. They learn one word, and all over, I have noticed Hindus learn to say, no, we will not convert. Go find out better ways. So I congratulate all Hindus that this is a big progress. And in case if you come across somebody who is still converting, Hindu, looking into converting, ask them why you are still outdated. I mean, that practice is already gone. Nobody is converting these days. What's the problem with you? Is the other party religious fanatic or what? So one point is good news. Now, the second point is now Christians and Muslims have gone smart now. They realize Hindus are not converting anymore. So they are using the new tactic, which you don't know yet. And that is skip generation conversion. Let me explain you. You know, America's Vice President, J.D. Vance, he married a Hindu, Usha Chilukuri. Both had Hindu vivah and no Christian wedding. So, I mean, this is the dream come true for any Hindu perspective. Today, they have 3 children, 4th one is coming. Either they are baptized or they will be baptized in Catholic faith. And even Usha is being asked to convert to Catholic faith. So Usha is still Hindu. Their children are now Catholic and future generation will be Catholic. So that's skip generation conversion. Let me give you another example, which you know very well. And that is Saif Ali Khan, married Kareena Kapoor. Kareena never converted to Islam. So Kareena is still Hindu. Saif married, and now their children, Taimur and Jahangir, the future generation is Islam. Skip generation conversion. So today, the most important question in any interfaith marriage is not whether do I have to convert or not for this marriage, but the question is what will be the religion of our children. Now, third point which I have observed, and that is even more severe one. Even for survival of Hinduism, I'm worrying. And that is, I have come across Hindu youths age 14 to 24, either they have already converted to Islam or Christianity, or they are considering about it. And many of them have no love relationship. Why? Hindu youths found the God concept in Islam or Christianity, very simple and very logical. One Hindu I'm consulting who has gone through during his childhood Bal Vihar and visiting temple often and all that. And what he's telling me that Hindus do all the rituals and nobody explained me the God concept in Hinduism. Till then I later on explain while my discussions with him. So this is a wake-up call for all Hindus. We must change our practices to following Hinduism at home and in mandirs. We need to do now less rituals and less stories, more theological explanations. And keeping Abrahamic faiths in mind, that kids in Australia and US and the West, they always think with the idea of the Abrahamic mindsets that what we are doing. So you have to keep that in mind. So that's 3 points. Now the fourth point, which Shashiji already hit on it somewhat, and that is a legal system in America, and I'm sure it's the same in Australia. I came across one alarming case where a New Jersey judge made a judgment in favor of the divorcee Jewish lady because he wants to teach her children about Judaism at Bar Mitzvah, and took away time from the Hindu side. The guy's name is Raj Yerashi. He'll be glad to come and talk to you. And he was teaching them meditation. So now his meditation time is taken away by law to give it to Bar Mitzvah teaching time. This is America's secular law I'm talking about. Even though they agreed in principle that children will be both. Why? Because in their 10 years of married life, children spend all the time in variety of synagogue activities, and they visited Hindu temple only once in 10 years. So judge concluded, you are not even Hindu. Actually, that Hindu man was performing devout follower, and he's doing meditation. That's Raja Yoga. And what judge was looking for was a bhakti yoga, going to mandir. And theologically, we know Hindus that Raja Yoga and Bhakti Yoga both are equal as far achieving moksha. But the Western judge did not comprehend this. And the court papers read, let me read specifically. It says, New Jersey court paper reads, meditation is for relaxation, not a religious ritual. So my message to any interfaith marriage, especially anybody outside India, see, Indian judge will know all those things. They will not, but it's the Western judges or non-Indian judges. You need to make sure you visit Hindu temple at least the same number of time that you visit the Abrahamic mosque or temples and whatever. If you don't do it, you'll be punished by court of law for not following Hindu practices in your married life. So as bad as it sounds, if there is an interfaith marriage, think in terms of child custody battle after divorce. Where will you stand? Now, you may ask me sarcastic question that Dilip Amin ji, why should I hear you here? Why don't I ask ChatGPT? You know, ChatGPT will tell you everything what is published. But almost all interfaith failed relationships will never get published. Let me give you a nice story. On my website, there was a Brahmin girl named Namrata. And she come on my website, she says in love with a Muslim guy. And I keep on telling that be careful about this, keep careful about that thing, watch out this thing, that thing. And she says, it's such an open-minded person, such a loving person. There is nothing to worry about it. He will not divorce me. There is nothing to worry about. So it went on for months. I could not convince her. And one day she said she's going to meet his sister, Muslim sister. I say, can you ask that Muslim boyfriend that if your Muslim sister start dating a Hindu, and because you are open-minded, are you going to support support her to date a Hindu? She says, yeah, that's a great question. Let me ask. She came back after a week and telling me that, I dumped that Muslim guy. I said, wait, what happened? He says that Muslim lover is telling that if my Muslim sister date a Hindu, I will kill her. All of a sudden, she realized that he's not open-minded. He's a religious fanatic. See, sometimes you have to ask difficult questions to find out what is the right answer. Now, let me give you 4 practical suggestions in different situations, and that will help you. Let's say the first scenario, you send off your daughter to college, you're very happy, she's getting all straight A grades, and wow, you are so proud of you. One day she's at home and she disclosed, Mom, I am in love with Muhammad. And that moment, there is a big war erupts on your dinner table. Mother start crying. Father start making all irrational speculations about Muslims. And what will be the result? Daughter will say, hell with you guys. I don't give a damn. I don't need you. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And you lost the case. What is my recommendation? Play a trick. Wonderful. We are very happy. Why not? And then what you do for next 6 months, only do is listen, collect facts, go meet their family, go meet their imam in the mosque, meet all relatives. And once you have all facts with you, and then ask your daughter that why they are asking for religious conversion. I mean, why you want to be in a submissive position? Why not you want equality? Naturally your daughter will say, Dad, Mom, I mean, no, you have been really wonderful. I mean, I never expected that. I thought you will kill me versus you are fully supporting me. I will get the equality. Don't worry about it. And then they go out between them somewhere outside. They will have the conflict starts. And it's possible if that other party is a religious fanatic, she will come there one day and says, Dad, Mom, just like that Namrata girl, I kick him out. He was a religious fanatic. I did not realize it. And thank you for waking me up. But again, reminding you, as I said before, it should be your daughter's decision who she marries to, not parents. Parents' role is to only to love her and guide with your knowledge. Right? So now, second scenario, let's look it over. And that is, let's say your daughter already converted to Islam, start wearing hijab. She's already pregnant with that whoever she married to. And she's performing namaz in your own home. So you may ask me that, is there anything left for me to do? The game has just started. Roll up your sleeves and start the reverse skip generation conversion. You failed to teach your own daughter. Understand that. But now catch up on the grandchildren. See, very important thing is you need to give your daughter relentless love and keep it on your fold. What will happen over a year or 2 or 3? Slowly she may start seeing faults on her Islamic side. And she may start to want to express to you that, I mean, why these people are acting like this and that way. So you are getting the trust. And then once you have your daughter's trust with you and she's in your fold, and start teaching your grandchildren with lots of love, with lots of knowledge, and with lots of your money. Bring them back. Reverse skip generation conversion. Now, third scenario. Let's say you may ask me that, Dr. Amin, if Usha Chulukuri, JD1's wife, if she was my daughter, what would I have recommended to her? See, you have to keep in mind that the conversion does not happen overnight. It happens, it's a slow process, one day at a time, one day at a time. So it's Usha who asked help JD once find his own faith, and then he found the Catholic faith. So it's Usha who woke up the sleeping giant, sleeping exclusivist giant. And now she's surrounded by Catholic husband, Catholic children, and Catholic church. So I say she's in a lion's den. And now she's even being pressured to convert to Christianity. So my advice, if JD took her to his church the first day, Usha should have said, great, I'm happy we went there. Next, let's go visit the Hindu temple. Always keep that equality in mind. And she should have stopped the storm long before it became a hurricane. And then it's too late to fix it. Let me repeat again what I told you. Conversion does not happen overnight. When you see the first sign of exclusivity, stop the process right then. Keep the church out. Definitely. You don't need church and mosque and synagogue. The same way, if it is a Muslim, as soon as the Muslim husband start glorifying Islamic teaching against Hindu teaching, you know where he is going to now. Stop at the first instance. Don't wait for it. If you wait, you will be in a deeper trouble. So it's like you heard the story that if there is a pot of water, and if you put a frog in it and slowly start heating the water, frog will keep on getting adjusted to the heat. And ultimately, even water is boiling, frog will not know when to jump out. So the first sense you get it now, the water around you is getting warm, immediately speak out, jump out, necessary. What's the problem here? And that's a mistake Usha did. Now, the fourth point is the term love jihad. If your daughter is in love relationship, do not use this love jihad term. Because as soon as you use that LJ term, you are clearly taking a position against Islam. You are already implying that all the Muslims are bad people, which is wrong. And that will backfire on you because your daughter is probably secular, pluralist, open-minded anyway. So instead of that, you get into the theological discussions. You have to go read Quran yourself and tell your daughter that, look, in Quran 221, it says that Muslim can marry only, Muslim cannot marry a non-believer, meaning a Hindu, which we respect it, no problem. But further, it says that a slave girl is better than a mushrik or idol worshipper, meaning Hindu. So you ask your daughter, why your position in the minds of some Muslims is less than a slave girl? Isn't it bothering you? And she will immediately get alarmed. Yes, what's going on? Further, later on, pose her a question to your daughter that we respect. He is a Quran believer. Wonderful. No problem with that. And he believes in Quran 221, and that's why he's asking you to convert to Islam. Great. But Quran also says, Quran 24:30, that a Muslim cannot fall in romantic love relationship, period. So if why is speaking and choosing from Quran? He believes in Quran 221, But all this 5-10 years you are in romantic love relationship with that Muslim guy, he completely ignored 24-30. So your daughter, who was in romantic love relationship for many, many years with that Muslim guy, and if now is asking for religious conversion for Quran reason, she has all the right to question him, are you a love jihadi or what? Now let's look at it. Where is the problem? Right? Now keep in mind that J.D. Vance is not a bad man. He married Usa, and he did not marry Usa with the intention of converting her. He did not have the plot. He is not a love jihadi. Further, JD, when they met, he was an atheist. So it is Usa's fault that he let him go towards the church. Now, what else you expect out of church? He's not JD, he's church now. So the problem is the exclusivist mindset that believes that one path, only one path is true, and that all others are spiritually inferior or invalid. In some tradition, that means that only believer will achieve the salvation, go to heaven on judgment day, only from that faith community. And that means that Mother Teresa, a baptized Christian, will go to heaven. Mahatma Gandhi cannot, because he's never baptized. He was Hindu. Your karma does not count. It's the baptism count. So if JD starts believing the Christian teaching, fundamental Christian teaching, and his all 4 children, that they will be saved on the judgment day, and they love their mother or wife, Usha, and they know that Usha will be condemned to hell on the judgment day. So I mean, they really love her. They feel for their mother, Usha, or wife. They want her to come to heaven on the judgment day. So it is for Usha's sake, for Usha's goodwill. They want Usha to convert to Christianity. So theologically, it creates the pressure for religious conversion. So conversion is not just to vote bank, it's for Usha's advantage, benefit. They want her to convert. See, if you encounter rigidity, exclusivism, or unwillingness to grant equal space to your dharmic identity, take that seriously. Take an objection to the first encounter you come across. Love should not require erasing who you are. Now, what I'm saying today is very simple. Your love is important, but your spiritual integrity is also important. A marriage built on mutual respect, equality, and freedom of conscience can flourish. A marriage built on hidden expectations or theological superiority will struggle. So my guiding principle is reflected in my book, Share and Respect with Equality. So what I'm saying is make informed decision. Ask hard questions. Think long term, not about the marriage or wedding day, but about the next generation. React on the very first exclusivist encounter. And if you follow this guidance, you will not have any problem with any interfaith love relationship. Or before that, you will be out anyway if that other party is religious fanatic. Now, are interfaith marriages bad? Where is the problem? Let me be very clear. I am not saying interfaith marriages are good or bad. It's your decision. Actually, in America, I've seen many, many Hindu-Christian marriages, and they are doing really great. So it is not the interfaith marriage a problem. It is the problem is the Hindus' inferiority complex. not demanding for equality. I mean, nothing wrong asking at least 50%. We are not talking about taking 100%. You should have at least that much self-respect to say, I want at least 50%. So if Usha Chilukuri stopped JD church and is going to church and instead of told him that, let's follow Jesus at our home, not there, she would have been in great shape. See, remember, Jesus will not hurt you, but church will. So learn to demand equality, 50-50. Now let me come to my last point. And that is, you say that, well, I have my 5-year-old daughter. What can I do now? A great question. Don't worry, first of all. Don't get bombarded by all those interfaith scary talks. Enjoy your child. But start taking small steps without forgetting. The most important thing is enroll your child into some Balvihar, Gurukul, Sunday schools, Hindu schools. A formal education is far superior compared to any kind of education you give at home. So definitely enroll your child. The group education setting has its own value versus your child learn on his or her own at home. Rituals at age 5 are very important. Do arti, puja, offer prasad to Bhagwan before you eat yourself. These are very important. But by that time your child reaches to age 12, gradually move away from rituals and get into more explanation why we do what we do. Get into theological high level explanations, especially as soon as the child become a teenager or goes to high school like 9th grade. Do not tell stories halfway. For example, do not tell that how Lord Ganesha received the elephant head. They will get so scared of hearing all those stories and they will not tell you, but they will leave some scars behind their mind because you did not explain them. Instead of that, you need to tell them theological meaning and take home messages, learn it from a proper teacher, and then teach your children. Teach them Hindus about fundamental concept about God. Who is God? I have found that 95% of Hindus cannot articulate what is Hindu concept of God in 1 minute. So in Australia and USA, India may be different story, but it is not enough to teach only Hinduism because 99% of people others are non-Hindus. So along with that, we need to teach about Islam, Christianity, and Judaism too, comparative religion. So with that, let me move to slides. I will tell you comparative religion. Let me put the slides on. Teach to the children. Abrahamic Faith 101. Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. They believe, all three of them, that the world was created in 6 days. And on the 6th day, God put on the man, the name, Adam. So tell your children that world was created in 6 days as per this faiths, versus Hinduism teaches that it was ever-ending cycles, infinity. Further, because Adam was the first person landed on earth by God, that means whatever you learn in science, Darwin laws of evolution, that is we were monkey, that's wrong. So further, the Adam and Eve story, that they ate that apple and that's why they carry the sin. That's Adam and Eve. But what they believe, that everyone in this world are sinners. A 1-day-old baby just born is sinner. How do you remove the sin? You have to get baptized and start following Jesus. That's only way to remove that sin. Or Muslim will believe that you need to endorse Muhammad as the last apostle and then you will be in heaven. So again, those who are baptized will go to heaven, and all others will go to eternal hell. So you need to ask questions that will Mother Teresa go to heaven? Will Mahatma Gandhi go to heaven? See, your child need to know this mindset. And then, there are stories there that there are the Noah's Ark, beautiful story. But Hindus, I have seen in Balvia, Hindu kids, as soon as you start telling Mahabharata and Ramayana, they say, that's the stories, meaning they are telling sarcastically that that's not truth. You need to tell your own child that these are religious matters. It's matter of faith, and whatever it is, you have to respect it. They have their own stories. We respect it. We have our own stories. Further, the Abrahamic faiths, they have apostles. These are the people God talks to them. These are not guru. Guru is a different things. So Abraham, Jacob, Moses, Solomon, there are a lot of apostles there. Those are all as a part of Torah, that is a Jewish book. And those are Jewish apostles. Not only Jewish apostles, if you don't know, Bible's first 5 chapters are the Torah. So those are also equally important apostles of Christianity, and also mentioned in the Quran. So all those apostles are across all 3 faiths, equally respected, and God's name at that time was Lord God. Now, later on, Jesus born. So whole dynamic now changed. Jesus was a Jew. He was a reformer, nothing more than that. He did not come out to start the Christianity. Because he created trouble with the help of Roman empires, ultimately beat him to really severely beat him, and ultimately he was hanged, which stories you already know. Some 319, that's where the Bible was finalized with the help of whatever teaching of later after Jesus, the Peter, Paul, and John, and all of them. And the God's name is Father God, changed to Father God, because Jesus was son of the ultimate God. So what Christians will tell Jewish people, that you convert to Christianity because this is the Messiah you are looking for still. Jesus says, Jesus is not a Messiah. And that's why Jews were prosecuted, because they did not accepted Jesus. Now, so Jesus is also a doorkeeper. If you want to go to heaven, even Jesus himself said that you have to only go through him. So he's a gatekeeper if you want to go to that ultimate. And who is that ultimate? Ultimate is the one who created these billions of galaxies, not just Earth, billions of galaxies. To reach to that ultimate, this is the man appointed to go to, again, I need to be respectful, their faith. I'm not against their faith. I'm just talking in terms of interfaith marriages. So please excuse me. And then Mrs. Kid was through 319, and some 517, that's where Muhammad was born, and he started getting revelations in 6,610, something like that. And what Muhammad said, that again he started challenging the Christians' teaching. And Islam and Judaism clearly believes that the divinity can be only in the ultimate, the creation, the galaxies. There cannot be any divinity here. So Christians are telling that the Jesus is the divine person, which Quran itself says on and on that it's a monstrous falsehood. There cannot be any divinity, divine person on this earth. It's only Allah is the divine person. So again, Islam's belief is that if you want to go to on the judgment day, Allah will accept all those people who are Muslims, meaning who endorse Muhammad as the last apostle. So he is now another gatekeeper for Islam. Now let's say Hindu, again talking sarcastically, we say, oh my God, I'm sinner, I just find it out. I want to go to heaven. What can I do? So Christian will say, accept Jesus. The other one, Muslim will say, is Muhammad. We just have to tell, can you two go talk it out and let me know which one is right one, and I'll settle for it. If you're not sure, why should I trust you? See, on this point, if Jesus is an apostle or just a regular apostle or is a divine person or son of Allah, millions have been killed. So you cannot resolve that point. Now you need to teach your children there are Abrahamic faith, there are dharmic faiths. We already stated that. The difference or concern point is the exclusivism, the supremacist ideology that we are superior, we are chosen people, versus that's not present in dharmic faiths. Generally, in most cases, they are a pluralist faith. Now, other is a circumcision, is a practice in Abrahamic faiths. That's not a practice in dharmic faiths. And ceremony is a burial versus cremation. And the other one is the afterlife. They believe, Abrahamic faiths believe that especially Christians and Muslims, that on Judgment Day, God will come and judge you whether you were followed what was recommended, follow Jesus or Muhammad's teachings or not, and they will send you to heaven or hell. It's fine. But when will be the Judgment Day? Judgment Day could be in 1 hour. And you all guys, sorry, you don't have much time left. Get converted. Otherwise, you will be condemned to hell. Or Judgment Day could be some millions of years after that. So it's possible that you will be waiting in that grave box for millions of years and nothing will happen. Versus the Hindu guy, they will keep on coming back on this world and will have fun. So you tell your child that, again, these are the philosophical ideologies, theological teachings between two faiths. Your child has to decide which is more logical, which makes more sense or not. So, but bottom line message, clearly tell your children, not all religions same. Remove that from teachings. Now, Christianity and Islam has a lot to offer. They are like American farm. They are really very efficient, very effective. They can harvest big farm. They can harvest so many souls. And both religions are really expanding a lot. Compared to that, Hinduism is like a forest. Yeah, it is beautiful. But I mean, look at that. There is no structure there. So let's compare farm versus the forest. Okay. If it is a farm, there must be a founder. Versus on other side, I don't know who found it. There is clearly a beginning and end. I don't know. We don't know. There are clear commandments. Again, we don't know. Yeah, we have dharmic guidance. See, you can see that dharmics are very wishy-washy. They don't have a clear-cut answers. Versus the other side have clear-cut answers. And your child will get impressed. Further, there is a clear hierarchy there. There is a Jesus or Muhammad. Versus here, tell your child, in dharmic, your connection to God is direct. You don't need to go through parents, not Hindu Pandits, not any Shankaracharya, nothing. You are directly connected to God and you are responsible for your own karmas, your own destiny. You are supposed to make it. There is no middleman we have. So you decided which philosophy you like better. The one where you are self-empowered to directly connect with the ultimate, or you go through the middleman. It's your choice. Further, the Bible and Quran has a very uniform message. And I found that those who are converted to, they really love it. It's so clear. Versus on Hindu side, they get lost. Again, you explain your child this way. Beta, see, Hinduism, they have book. We have library. So when you go to library, you pick the book which you want to read today. You don't have to read the book. So which one you prefer? The book or I feel like reading today novel. I feel like reading romantic stories, whatever. So there is a difference. One has book, other has library. And clearly others are threats. For example, in cornfield field, the wheat is a weed, and wheat farm, corn is a weed. And dandelion, meaning Hindus, are weed always. Versus that's not a outsiders are not threat. Again, this came from Rajiv Malhotra's book, and you can read it there. So explain theologically to your children the difference between these two sets of religions, and up to it's their decisions if they want to follow the other one. I mean, that's beautiful religion anyway. I'm not saying anything against it. But the bottom line in interfaith marriage end up being is the ultimate what you face. Those are theology. This is the reality. The second commandment of the 10 commandments, if you recall it, it says, I'm a jealous God. If you don't follow me, I will punish you to 3 to 4 generations. Wow, scary message. So Abrahamic faith, all three of them, are clearly binary. Either you are with me or against me. Are you my friends or you are enemy?
Sorry for the interruption, Dr. Amin ji.
Yeah.
Do you want to show the slides, or is it a presentation for whatever you are
Oh,
saying?
you're not seeing my slides?
It stopped. It stopped.
But you could see so far, right?
No, in the last 5-10 minutes, no slides.
Oh my, oh my. I wish, let me see.
Yeah.
Let's try it again. Sorry, I'm glad you told me. Okay. Ah, but it was there. Okay, then you have to tell me where it stopped. Can you
Okay.
see? Can you
Uh,
see slides?
yeah, we can see it now, but none of these have been shown.
Okay,
Initially,
let me
you
go
said
back. I already told them. So, did you show this one?
no.
Oh my God. Okay. This one?
No, you can slightly, I think, roll over quickly. And
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. Now I already told you, so I will have to go through very quickly with these things. So you can see the slide well, right?
yeah,
Okay. So as I told you before, this Earth was created on 6th day. Adam is the first one to born, and Darwin's laws of evolution is not right. I told you about original sin because they ate the apple, and we all are sinners. That means that Mother Teresa is will go to heaven because she is baptized. Mahatma Gandhi is in question. It is not your karma, but the baptism matters. Noah's Ark story, I told you they have the stories. We have our own stories. Abrahamic faiths, as I told you, all those they have those all those apostles, and they are in the Jewish Torah. Also, first 5 chapters of the Christian Bible, and also endorsed in Quran. So those are all common. And then came Jesus, which, as I told you, that is there anything changes? Can you see still see the slides?
I think you stopped it. Can I share from my computer if you want to?
Can you see it now? I think you can see it now. Can you see it now?
Yeah, this is
Okay, good.
from I shared it from my computer. If it helps you,
Okay, keep it that way. Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, so then Jesus was a Jew, and he was against all the Jewish practices. As I told you that later on, the Bible was written in 3000, finalized in 3019, where Jesus becomes Son of God. You want to go to heaven, you have to be baptized. and they were telling Muslims that, they were telling Jews that Jesus is your Messiah. Later on, Muhammad came, and Muhammad says to call Jesus a divine person is a monstrous falsehood. Divinity cannot be on the earth. And again, Jesus and Muhammad, they are sort of a gatekeeper. If you want to go to heaven, according to Christian philosophy, you have to get baptized. According to Islam philosophy, you have to endorse that Muhammad was the last apostle. Next slide, please. Next slide. Okay. I told you Abrahamic and Dharmic faiths, 3 here, 4 there. The exclusivism is the problem versus the others are Dharmic faiths. Circumcision is clearly practiced in Christianity and Islam. Judaism and Islam, not as much in Christianity, mixed feeling. Dharmics, there is not. One is a burial, other is cremation. And Judgment Day, I explained you that Judgment Day, there is a you'll be judged. Now, Judgment Day is in one day or after millions of years, we don't know. Versus Hindus believe in incarnation. Bottom line message to convey to your child that not all religions are same. Next slide. American farm, that which is very efficient. And Christianity and Islam, they are really very efficient. They are harvesting so many souls. Versus, let's compare it to the forest. Next slide. That's Hinduism. Next slide. Okay. See, if it is a farm, there must be a founder. Jesus, Muhammad. Hinduism, if it is a farm, there has to be a beginning, there has to be end. Again, on the dharmic side, if it is a farm, you have to have a SOP, clear rule, clear commandment. Hindu side, yeah, we have a dharmic guidance. Point being that when you start comparing, you realize your son or daughter realize that Hinduism has a sort of not clear answer versus the other side has a really clear answers. Further going down, they have a hierarchy. A Pope and Jesus and Muhammad and different levels. Versus you can tell your child that in Hinduism, it's you are directly connected with God. Your connection, there is no middleman, no parents, no pandits, nobody, no. So it's your child has to decide, think about it, which philosophy is better, resonate with their thinking, whether with the so many middlemen or they are empowered to make a decision for their own life and directly discuss matter with the ultimate on their own based on dharmic guidance. Further down, that there is a clear uniform message in Bible and Quran, but again you need to make sure know that so many things were, especially in Bible, it was voted down. Even in Quran, many things they did not make sense. They were out of. So naturally, it's a nice and clean one book, which our Hindu youths many times get impressed by it. But in Hindu side, it's you can tell that we have a library. So whether you want interested in just one book or you are interested in library, when we have a library, it means you have a liberty to pick and choose what you feel like reading today. That's Hinduism. And the last point being others are threats, like corn in a wheat field and wheat in a cornfield and dandelion, meaning Hindus, they are weed anyway. Versus Hinduism, we never saw outsiders as a threat. For example, the Jews came, Parsis came, and even Muslim came in the beginning, or even for the, so far they did not create a trouble for Hindus, never bother Parsis and Jews. Next slide, please. So as I told you that those are theological discussions. But in interfaith marriage, these end up being the reality of your married life. And that is the second commandment says, that I'm a jealous God if you pray to any other God, second of 10 commandments. I will punish you to 3 to 4 generation. Very serious matters. And because of that, ultimately in all three faiths, there is a clear binary message, whether you are with us or against us, you are friend or you are enemy. Either it's a black or white. There is nothing gray there. And that's why it looks very clear, looks very effective, because it's only clear message there. And because of that, they have various religious label. For example, on the left side is breast circumcision on day 8, and a child could be called Jews from that. Christians have, it's a baptism deep in water, and from that day you are Christians, you are not whatever others you were. And Muslims, they have Sahanat and Sunat. So again, let me repeat again. I'm not against somebody's holy rituals. They means a lot to them. I respect it. I don't have any intention of criticizing anyone. But when it comes to interfaith marriage, when it comes to Hindus, and if other party bring up this BBS, I call it BBS, Breast Baptism, Sahadat Sunan, you have reason to object to it. The reason being that a Jew will not accept baptism, a Christian will not accept Sahadat, and a Muslim will not let their child having a breast circumcision. They will want the Sunnah circumcision. So if these three brothers of a one son, Abraham, cannot put up with each other, do not accept each other's religious label, Hindus have no reason to accept that. Just say no BBS. So this is the one mantra you need to learn to sing it. No BBS, no BBS, no BBS. Your problem solved. Next slide, please. We discussed so much on Usa Chilukuri and J.D. Vance, but again, repeating again that it started so beautifully. What Usa made a mistake is she did not act on the water in the pot was getting warm. She did not realize it. Now it's too late for her. Next slide. So another skip generation conversion example. New York City, new mayor, Zoran Mamdani. He's a proud Muslim. He goes out and clearly say, I'm a Muslim. His father is Muslim, but look at what he has in glass. Some kind of looks like alcoholic drink. And in public domain. So I don't know what kind of Muslim he is. Doesn't matter. Mother Meera Nair, she's wearing bindi and apparently she's Hindu. See, as I told you and repeating again, conversion doesn't happen overnight. This Mamdani, 30 years of life when Meera was raising, if Meera told one day, Beta, Zoran, you are Hindu and Muslim both, he would not go out and be proudly saying, I'm Muslim alone. When Meera does not have self-pride being a Hindu, don't have even 1 minute of time to explain to her son, that you are both, what else you expect? So skip generation conversions are going on because Hindus are passive. Some reason they have inferiority complex. They cannot speak out against the Western world. Or actually, in this case, it's that they are also Indians, but they cannot speak out against the Abrahamic faith. I don't know why. So that's something we need to change. Next slide. Other thing I told you, that don't use sarcastic terms like love jihad. Instead of get into very intellectuals, scriptural discussions, theological discussions, read Quran yourself, Quran 221, what it says, explain it to your daughter, son-in-law. Quran 24:30, as I told you, it says no dating. And then raise the question based on, and if you raise the question this way, they will respect you and they will say, no, you are right. It will help you expose the other party if the other party is religious fanatic. So what I'm saying is proactively ask difficult questions. Next slides. Another interesting example. Don't be submissive. Saif Ali Khan's first wife, Amrita, at that time, Saif was very young, very Muslim, real Muslim, and he says, and it's quoted that she has to fall in line and go through nikah only, meaning conversion. And she did. She converted. She raised children Muslims, gave them Muslim names, and still she got divorced. My point is, being submissive it's not a solution. Still you got divorced. Karina started well. I will not convert. Good, congratulations. But then children named Taimur and Jahangir, she could have said, wait, I mean, I want one child named Hindu. So what I'm saying is don't be submissive. Next slide. Other thing is bring up this legal issue. I mentioned this Raj Erashi, the legal issue in New Jersey court case judgment. I have video with exactly this screenshot. And this is what you need to ask your children, that make sure, understand where you will stand if there is a child custody battle after divorce. Next slide. If your daughter converted to Islam, start wearing hijab, what do? Read this book, A Story of Reversion by Osruti. She was Hindu, Brahmin family, very ritualistic, everything is Hindu, wonderful. But then she did not understood the meaning what they are doing it. So over 3 years period, it took her 3 years, and she realized Islam is the truth, and she converted to Islam. But then she come in touch with Manojji, and in 3 hours, he could explain her, bring her back to Hindu fold. She's a Garvapsi. My point being, if Manojji can do this thing just in 3 hours, read this book, everything, beautiful explanations. So if your daughter converted or son converted, or if not them, for that grandchildren, learn this skip generation, reverse skip generation conversion. Bring them back. Next slide. Esther Dandraj is my good friend. She's also teaching at Hindu University of America. She spent she was Hindu at age 12. Her parents slowly got converted. She then spent 25 years in Christian church, every day praying to Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. And then ultimately she went to a seminary, meaning a master's degree in religious apologist type education. And she realized that Christianity is fundamentally so much flawed. And she came back to Hindu faith. You should read this book, Unbaptized. Next slide, please. Ritu converted to Islam. I was invited to speak to her and on her forum, and I made presentation. After that, she came and make her presentations, and that's where she announced that she converted to Islam. The problem is our children. If we don't, just like Ritu's case, parents never taught her what the Hindu rituals are. So help our young Hindu youths if they are confused about Hinduism. Next slide. Now, if your son or daughter is entering 9th grade, going to high school, soon they will have other Christians and Muslim, their friends, they will be asking them these questions. Can they answer them? Questions: why Krishna had 16,000 wives? Why Rama needed monkey? I mean, he was God. He could have done himself. Why Rama made the Sita go through Agni Pariksha? Why Shivlinga is a phallic symbol? Why Shiva cut Ganesh head? Can your child answer these questions? Or he's in his school dome? Is he just going to look? I don't know. I mean, is he going to feel shame and walk away from it? Don't let it happen. Your teenager must defend it. Download this document. It's on my website, as I mentioned. And the link will be on the description on the YouTube video. I will also put on the other video links. Please download all of them and use them. Next slide, please. Marriage itself is difficult. If a Patel, Hindu Patel marrying the Hindu Patel, that doesn't mean it's not going to be, it will have its own sets of problems. So I recommend that anybody who is getting married, read this book, Critical Conversation Before Marriage. That will help you a lot. Anybody who is getting married, even though Patel getting married to Patel. So that is very important to know who you marrying to. Next slide. This is my last slide. I told you about equality, 50-50. But many times equality is just not possible. There is only one way to go, and there are no two doubts about it. Either you can be cremated or burial. So when your son or daughter is in love relationship, remind them that there are so many things you need to see. You died. Problem doesn't end. You are dead. But then still both sides of parents are fighting whether you should be given a cremation or baptism or a cremation or burial. Point being, interfaith issues in interfaith marriages are endless. Think before what you are doing. That's my message. Thank you. Next slide, please. Okay, that's the end of it. Okay, great. So I covered a lot. I think it went almost long. So floor is open for questions. I hope it makes sense.
Thank you, Dilip Aminji. That was a slick presentation. Very, very slick. Now, of course, we are running out of time. What I'm going to do is we have a couple of speakers to share their views about interfaith marriages and throw some questions on you. They are our community leaders. This is
Can
slide.
you request them? The question has to be 30 seconds,
I
not
will. I
a
will.
big lecture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. But before that, Dr. Aminji and the audience, we have a special speaker for today. Of course, this webinar is meant for interfaith marriages, but we have Parul Mehta from Sydney. She is a matrimony coach and runs matchmaking agency. She knows a lot of nitty-gritties of intra-Hindu marriages. Probably after listening to her version, we will have a lot of questions to Dr. Aminji. So both interfaith and intra-faith, what are the problems within Hindu marriages? Probably she can highlight more. And Parulji, if you're there, unmute yourself and switch on your camera, and can you please come on to the screen? Parulji, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can
Yeah.
you hear me, see me, everything?
Yes.
We can
Because
hear you,
no.
not see you.
Okay,
Oh, now
now?
you
Yes.
can.
Yeah, pranam and namaste. I'm Parul Mehta. I live in Sydney. And Shashi ji, I got in touch because of all this webinar and everything, and very inspired by the speech you gave, Dilip ji, and the platform we have created. So, because of the time constraint, I'll jump straight into my version. So, I run a matrimony over here from last 6-7 years, and I started only because of the love of the community. When I say that I have, like everybody else, a daytime job that pays the mortgage, everything, but when my kids were growing up, my cousins' kids were growing up, we saw this issue that there was a vacuum over here. We in Australia is not as diverse community as USA. We are newer generation here. So the age group, our kids age group, there was not too many options. And we in our back of mind, I'm a Gujarati Jain, so back of mind, I would be the match for my daughter. Has to be a Jain, has to be a vegetarian, has to be XYZ. So there were a lot of constraints that killed a lot of time of a lot of youth. People who did not have so much patience or did not have those, settled kind of upbringing, and they wanted to find out their love. They anyway were intercaste marriages and everything happening anywhere. Few people did not choose to get married because they did not wanted to fight with the parents. A few people chose the traditional path of finding somebody from India or wherever, and marriage migration is the term that I use for this scenario, where they sponsor somebody over here on a visa, they try and settle here. Marriage worked beautiful. Sometimes the intention of the pastor who was migrating was always to settle in Australia on a easier terms rather than coming on a student visa, working hard, getting settled. Same thing in your US. If somebody is a H1 visa, you get married to citizen and it's fine. Get come from India rather than working hard, get married to a citizenship, and then so same marriage migration, fraudulent behavior. It was also erupting. And kids of there are a lot of people of our generation over here whose kids were in marriageable age, who did not wanted to marry anywhere outside of the Hindu faith because they believed in the sanskar we gave and they believed everything. But where are the options? Because we as a Hindu, we work in a lot of silos. Patels marry only Patels, Jain marry only Jains, this, that. So where I saw the vacuum was creating a local platform from Australia, New Zealand. I operate 6, 7 years. It was absolutely free service to start with, but then I realized to engage with the youth, I had to speak the brand. They have to be trustable. I had to be Google searchable kind of a scenario. So create a brand, learned a lot of skills that needed. And here I am, a private limited company, run this very well supported by the community, lot of successful marriages. The grassroots issue that I see over here, that kids do want to get married. It is not the bad scenario. They do have that, a lot of kids do want to get married on their own terms. And
Yeah.
all these, the terms that you said, love, jihad, this, that, everything, we do not have so much of an issue what we see on Kerala Files kind of a movies and stuff like that, and we see on the internet. But what I've realized through my this public, kind of a domain, that influences we as a Hindu community, rather than working in a small groups, if we come across as a one Hindu kind of a thing over here, if you see the Christian, they have still little sects like Baptist and Anglican and everything, but Muslims generally come across quite one unity. Maybe the BAPS Swaminarayan or the Jain or the whatever mandis, we have to have a governing body about the marriage and the documentation. Over here we do the marriage like no, the fairas and everything is just a tradition over here, but the signed paper where we call the intent of marriage, we register, and after 1 month we get that authority from the government of Australia, and it's pretty much system universal. So at that time we signed the paperwork that is not Hindu scripted. There are no Hindu values in there. Our Hindu tradition has the beautiful wedding ceremony with 7 feras. We have that, inbuilt into it, but we like to follow something that is foreign. And that's why we are very easy to adapt to the new culture. Nothing wrong with the following the law of the land. Yes, we can sign that documents, but there is nothing stopping us to have a Hindu document too. Even if a Hindu to Hindu wedding, the Muslims nikah nama, both the parties signs it. Christian, they have their own, kind of a stuff. There is
Mm.
nothing in Hinduism that I have found. I'm still to be corrected, but I haven't found anything that a Hindu kid is getting married to the Hindu and there's a piece of paper they both sign. I'm going to be loyal with my husband. I'm going to raise my kids as a good Hindu. Nothing. So probably that is a thing that with the when we are talking about the marriage. Another thing, influencers. Any business is now youth influencers, and if somebody has done right thing, maybe highlight them. I give you a very simple example. Engagement with a wedding ring, that's what we highlight. There's a bigger ceremony, everything. Mangal Sutra, nowhere to be seen. Why can't we make Mangal Sutra the hero? If all the kids had the Mangal Sutra as their wedding photo, I'm sure all the multinational brands like Tiffany would be compelled to make a solitaire Mangal Sutra. At this moment, we don't. So what I'm trying to say, we Hindus invest a lot of economy. We invest into a lot of economy. We have so many things. We do not know how to merchandise ourselves. And
Mm.
I'm not the subject matter expert, but more than happy to share my idea offline. If you have the pool of people who can take this idea further, I have the examples. I'll have my clientele who can come, on your side. They can share their experience. And there are a lot of very new society. So we do in Jainism also over here. We have Hindus marrying to Muslim, but the marriage are going quite okay. So there is nothing negative that I have to say that intermarriage, intercaste marriage is not working. So that is a thing. But the bigger threat that I see, our kids, they don't want to get married. If they want to get married, the concept of not having kids, double income, no kids, ding concept they say. So both the husband and wife have superb career, superb jobs, but they don't want to have kids. They want to have holiday, Rolls Royce, property, everything. No kids, no liability. So that concept can be reversed, and maybe uh, something can be happening there. And the even bigger threat that I see now, not that we are discussing here, but in few years we would be meeting again and discussing the threat with the AI. China and everybody's already making the human model. If I have to train my husband to help me with my cooking and help me with my emotional journey, if a robot can do that, why would I need a husband? I earn enough, I'm independent, people love me, I love people just at home. Rather than fighting with the husband, I can deal with the robot. uh, this is the concept.
Yeah.
And very soon we all would be discussing, rather than our kids marrying to somebody or not choosing to marry, how do we avoid our kids getting married to a technology? So that could be also a thought. And in India constitution, the very very last topic is from the word go. Religion, intercaste marriage, conversion, and politics have gone side by side. Indira Gandhi got married to a Muslim. The nation could not accept them as a Muslim, Hindu Muslim wedding. Gandhi ji had to adopt Indira ji. The story is everywhere. I'm not saying something that is not published. So Gandhi ji had to legally adopt Indira ji to give her the last name as Gandhi. And then everybody converted into Parsi, because Parsis were little bit in between Hindu and Muslim. And that's how the foundation of a lot of years of Indian politics was laid, that Hindu cannot convert to Muslim, but they can convert to Parsi. So this is a topic beyond my knowledge. I'm not that historian, I'm not that political, but maybe our kids can learn from the mistakes we have made. Having there was no power given to those people, maybe there was Kashmir as a different history, and we probably had a different outlook on Kashmir as well. So maybe what I see when I have a fight with my kid, once I apologize, they understand where I came from. If I keep on arguing, give them lecturing, they are not interested. Learn a new parenting skill, apologize the mistake that our history has done. The whole of the Anglo-Indian society in southern part of the India especially came up only because the caste system. There were a lot of people, they were not respected in the Hinduism. Christians saw that opportunity and they converted them and gave them the very respectful jobs in railways. They gave them very higher positions everywhere. So if you agreed to get converted, you are financially sorted. And very similar thing now, as I see on the internet, is happening with the HR bodies. If you're happy to convert, if you're happy to do everything, we'll give you the positions, we'll give you the jobs, we'll give you the visas, and everything. And I can see that in front of my eyes, and it is very alarming. Whoever at your level, sir, Dilip ji, if you have that vision and the power or something, maybe some statistics over there will help. But coming from the matrimony point, absolutely yes, we do need this issue to be addressed. It's not as bad as you said, around 38% in USA. I don't have any data over here. We also see a lot of interfaith marriages successful. We see them there, and I don't know too much about the kids, how they raise it and everything. It's a very young society. So even if they have kids, they are into the preschool years. So we don't know the known history. But with love, care, affection, inclusivity, we'll do it. This country, Australia, as a code of conduct, equal opportunity. We cannot discriminate anybody on the basis of religion or age or anything. So anything to do legally would be little bit difficult, but with the love and care, we should be able to do it.
So sorry, Parulji, just
That's
sort of interjection there.
yeah,
So Dr. Dilip ji has already talked about a skip generation conversion,
yeah.
because the other civilizations have become very smart. They know that they can't convert us so easily in the last 2 or 3 decades. So they are sure that they have to be resilient. After a generation, definitely they will become Abrahamic. That's what the point he raised. And another question is to Dr. Dilip Aminji and Parulji both. Is there any fault line within our Hindu ecosystem, especially with respect to intra-Hindu marriages, that is triggering interfaith marriages, thinking that other side of the fence is better than our own? So that's the thing I wanted to hear from both from Dr. Aminji and
Yeah.
Parulji.
Okay.
Parulji, go.
Yeah,
Parulji,
I'll
go.
go as a matrimony, kind of a thing. Data pool. There is not enough data over here, not enough options for people to choose their faith. I do have in my database some people who would have said, if not a Brahmin, I will not get married. And those girls, when they started looking for the matches, were around 24, 25. They've turned 34, 35, and they haven't found something that is matching to their parents and everything. They've grown up to become very independent. They either choose not to get married, or then they don't worry about what parents think or what they think. Whatever the next available person they feel is matching, they get married and they get started. So what I feel, a realistic expectation set from the day one. If the parents know they cannot provide too many options, let's be little bit generous, or let's increase our data pool. If somebody is not in Australia, let's look at Singapore, let's look at Japan, let's look at London. Sometimes, cultural gap is too much from India to Australia, but from London to Australia is not so much. So let's work together to get that interfaith kind of at least options available.
Dr.
That's my
Aminji,
take.
Dr.
It's
Aminji.
a shame. I can be very brief, and that is, I always say that if you are Brahmin, there are only 0.001% of whatever Brahmins probably in America. So you are limiting your scope of daughter so much. So naturally, she'll be already 30 years. She could not find anybody else. Give that up. If any Hindu, any Dharmic, even from Fiji, from Thailand, anywhere, open up the scope. So far, you have somebody Dharmic minded. That will help your own.
On the other point, Dr. Aminji, addressing Australian Hindus today, is one of the finest diaspora collaboration in recent times, as for me. So there are 40 million Hindus outside of India producing $700 billion worth of wealth. Of course, VHP has started World Hindu Economic Forum in every country, but we need to have collaboration on civilizational topics which really matter to us. And Dr. Aminji from USA is an expert in these interfaith marriages, which is really affecting Hindu civilization. Because for how long we are going to label ourselves as a surviving community? Because in the last 1,000 years, we are just a surviving community, ready to assimilate, getting digested, and so on. We need to search and research, and that is where we need this diaspora collaboration. I have mentioned that Dr. Dilip Aminji started this interfaith marriage mission work research on exactly on May 2006, and I have forgotten the date. So, and now you are addressing Australian Hindus in the month of May after 20 years. Can you please explain more about it, Dr. Aminji?
Yeah, it was May 28, 2006. I find out one of my Hindu relative is marrying a Muslim. So I sat down on Google and I could not believe my eyes that you have to convert. There is a mosque. Meantime, I got another wedding invitations and from a friend's daughter getting married in a Catholic church. And by that time, I learned a lot more about it. So as soon as I got the wedding invitation, I straight went to the church to confirm what is the fact. And the priest confirmed that yes, the Hindu side must sign a prenuptial agreement that children will be baptized and raised in Catholic faith only. Hindus does not have to convert. So then I went back to the parents that this is what your daughter is going to do. Do you know it? Parents had no clue about it. So, and then I started talking to community. Community was clueless about it in 2006. They had no idea. And they said, Dilip, this cannot be. No, 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 you are dreaming or maybe making up, whatever. And that's why I started the website. And all of a sudden, I started having millions of hits, and so many people needed guidance. So yes, meantime, I had also one colleague who converted to Islam, and she told me all those inside story how things goes. So yes, and I have helped so many. Even though I want to retire, I cannot because people still needs. There are still we could not make enough of new generation, new experts to.
A couple of things, of course, you said the bedrock for us is Hindu Ekta, and Hindu Ekta affects us in every respect of our lives. for our children. Well, I know I've got grandchildren, I've got young children, grandchildren, and I'm constantly thinking, how will we, in a foreign land, in Australia, ensure that these children grow up with values that are going to be, that are going to travel with them their whole lives. And my question to you also would be that, what you said about JD Vance, yes, that's been playing on our minds a lot since JD Vance said in that interview that he hopes that his wife will join his faith. What is her status? I do not know, because when he said that, people started talking about, oh, that's probably going to be the end of his marriage. I don't think so, because I think we are so adjusting and often play subservient, that because we are adjusting, हम लोग तो सब ठीक है, हमारे all religions are the same. We say all religions are the same. I don't think the others say all religions are the same. Now, knowing very well that all religions are not the same.
No.
Yes. So I do not know how we would be able to teach this to our children, because I don't see any one book or one document that we can travel with our children right from a young age to the time they're grown up, because we need something that they can progress with. Otherwise, after, and how quickly they are, our children's, not our children, I mean, I know how quickly Hindu kids talk about superstitions, and how none of this makes sense. It's unscientific. On the other hand, the other religions do not seem unscientific to them. Whereas the amount of superstition in that case is a lot. Then the other question I have to ask you about is the caste thing. That that is a question I'm going to ask you. Are people circumventing that? Are parents uh, working around that? That as long as a person is a Hindu, that they should accept their child's choice and not stick to just caste.
Yep.
So, and I don't know if that is specific only to Brahmins or other castes are also as pedantic about it. Yeah, because when your pool, the choice pool is very small, then you've got to
Yeah.
look outside.
Yeah.
Yes. So,
Okay. On this question of superstition, Muslims and Jews believe that children must be have circumcision. That's a superstition. That's not a science. And they have so many things like that. So when Hindu kids raise the question, what you do is make a list of what questions you have it. Probably we may have already addressed, and we let's make a document if it is not already addressed. About the caste, something you need to be very, very, you are in now West, where if you are a Kadwa Patel and if you are looking for only Kadwa Patel, I mean, you are really limiting scope so little. You need to broaden it up. So far, it's some kind of Hindu, Jains, Sikhs, whatever. You are much better off, because the second option is, if you hold on, it could be Muhammad, could be Jennifer.
yeah, that's right.
Dr. Amin, for the great presentation. Sorry, I'm just seeing it says the host has disabled the video. But my question was related to how do we make sure, some great points are given, how do we make sure that there is more equality in interfaith marriages with the Abrahamic religions, and the issue of the Abrahamic religion being passed down to the future generations happens a lot. So how do you, if he has some good resources for young people to make sure that they're more rooted in their faith? Also want to ask if these days there's more issues between dharmic faiths as well. I know Sikhism, Buddhism is part of Hinduism, but because of a lot of misinformation, there seems to be friction between the dharmic faiths. Is that been an issue that he has noticed as well in his experience? Thank you.
Yeah, great questions. Regarding interfaith marriage, be very clear. I'm very open that I have seen so many good interfaith marriages. So interfaith marriage is not a problem. It's the exclusivity mindset that is the problem. So what you need to do is that party is not exclusive with supremacies. And one true test is, I said, no BBS, no religious label on yourself, meaning baptism, bris, shahadat, sunat, or on the children. And other important point, keep off from church. Jesus will not hurt you except Jesus. Put a biggest photo of Jesus next to Krishna on your, and Jesus and Krishna will not fight in your living room. But if you introduce church, you are damned to fail. So keep the church out, keep the exclusivity out, keep the BBS out. Rest you can manage it. And regarding this, I've seen many Hindu Sikhs marriages in America, and they are doing great. Issues between Hindus and Sikhs are only if they are those strong Khalistani minded. That I guess you can ask few questions just before getting married, and you will know it. So generally issues are less. I don't see big issue problem within thermic.
And switch on your camera if you want to and ask the question to Dr. Aminji.
Thank you, Dr. Aminji. I really appreciate all the information you've shared. So my question is, how we talked about being 50-50 equal in interfaith marriages. So having Krishna and Jesus together and all of those things, and staying away from the church. I don't know if that's exactly what you said, but something on the lines of not involving church so much, but having 50-50 in terms of sharing religious beliefs in the family. So in that case, in Christianity, baptism means that one becomes a Christian. With ours, we don't have baptism as such, not clear cut. We have those 16 samskaras. So what are your thoughts on whether the Hindus who are married in interfaith relationships in terms of the samskaras that we do with our children? Thank you.
I have a prenuptial agreement favoring Hindu. So if you really want to make sure, just have it written down that the children will be raised Hindu. They will go through all the sanskaras. In most cases, I will say that so far you are vigilant. Don't let it go towards too much on the exclusivity side, and keep bringing the non-Hindu partner to Hindu mandirs and Hindu activities and rituals, to garbas and holis and diwalis. And then slowly that becomes part of, they don't feel it's something strange and they actually enjoy it. So you need to actively keep them engaged and being mindful that the other party don't go towards the exclusivity mindset. I'm not saying Christian or Muslim mindset. I'm saying the exclusivity mindset. And definitely religious institute creates more trouble than the people themselves. So keep the religious institutes out, because religious institutes have to worry about their own personal interests, which is definitely going to be against.
And namaskar, everyone. Thank you so much, Shashiji, and also great, insightful chat and information from Dr. Dilip. Thank you for that. I have two important things that's coming to my mind. I think that the entire discussion that's been happening so far, very important thing for all parents. I think somewhere back of our mind, this kind of issues have been ongoing, raising our kids overseas. One thing I want to know is, human psychology says you try and take a person away from something, you are actually pushing them towards it even stronger.
Correct.
So for Dr. Dilip, one question is, what is that subtle way where we can actually, without even overpowering the mindset of our kids, what is that subtle way, in a very brief way, how should we be doing it so that we're actually not pushing them towards a particular religion? And another thing is, us Indians, like, I feel we take pride in sending our children to Catholic schools, and my sons have gone to Catholic schools, and religion is a big part as a subject in their schools, and now listening through this webinar, I'm a little bit concerned, and I'm going to dig a little bit deeper into what have they been taught in school and what is their mindset when it comes to religion. As a Hindu, rightly said by the previous people in the webinar, that we say all religions are equal, whereas it's much more in depth that we've learned today. So two things, please, if you can answer, I'll be so grateful. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Sure. First is how to take children on your side. As I said, the day your child come and tell you, Mom, I'm in love with Muhammad, I told you, play a trick. Completely shut off your mouth, tell her, I'm with you. You have to be on your daughter's side. And you have to be genuinely be, whatever you do, daughter, we are with you. You are our daughter, that is more important, and with you. But along with that, silently, you have to go on a mission of finding out the facts, what the other side are, and then come and once you have all the facts, don't make any wrong assumptions that he may be love jihadi. You ruin your case. But instead of that, bring up theologically, as said the Quran 221, it says these things, or 2430. You read it. I'll help you read my all those writing publications, and and when you work with your own daughter, and when you 6 months you have been supporting her, and then you will bring up one question. She says, Mom, you have been so fair to me. I thought you were going to kill me, but instead of you being really nice. So you have to be on your child's side. Your child is not your enemy. Enemy should be somewhere outsiders. So that's a very fundamental things. And ultimately, if she still wants to marry after all those knowledge, that's her choice. You have to be honest about it. So that's number one thing. Going to Catholic school, I know every Catholic school people who goes to take their children, I mean, they're so proud of Catholic schools. But you have to know that constantly, every day, slowly, poison is being added in your child's mind, pro-Catholic, against Hindu faiths and all that. I mean, it's given. That's what they have. They are running these schools for, not for some non-religious reason. They are religious institutes. So at home, you have to do your own homework. As I said, explain them all those things. You have an additional question?
Yeah. Dilipji, going back to the very first
Mhm.
question that I asked, so I am gonna request you to go one step before that, not when a child is already in a romantic or is inclined in a relationship to someone from another faith. How
Got
can
it.
we kind of very tactfully, very nicely, in a subtle way, sow seeds, so that we're trying to, like, I'm an Ayurveda doctor, so prevention is better than cure is,
Yep.
that kind of philosophy is what I believe in. And so how can we
Agree.
sow
Agree. I
kind of
got your
those
point.
seeds? Yeah.
I met Swami Dayanand Saraswati ji when he was still alive and asked him this question. And he says, tell Hindu, and I'm telling you all, that be Hindu first. First,
Mm.
you be Hindu.
Ji.
Are you practicing? Are you living your life the way you want your children to follow?
Mhm.
If you yourself are not Hindu, never going to mandirs and doing rituals or following in your own home, you are complaining, oh, that mandis, they are so butthal. I mean, they don't understand things. I mean, you make negative. So that's one thing. The other thing is, along with Hinduism, you teach them the positive side of Hinduism theologically. What is the God concept about Hinduism? And along with that, teach them about Abrahamic faith too. You need to have a Bible and Quran right in your home sitting there, along with Gita. And if you get in, your child is a lot intelligent than what you think. And get in the theological discussions, all those points I discussed today. I mean, give them, tell them that, look, why they say these things. What do you think these things? Run these presentations and take one step at a time and all that. And let them express. And in the end, whatever they decide, trust them. Follow, I mean, let them make that you're done your part, creating the foundation, and then trust them. And as I said, even though they convert, don't give up. Skip generation conversion. Still, that's not the end of it. Bring the grandkids back. But first, you need to be Hindu. You need to be proud about. You need to teach proper way, theologically, and by structurally, by Balvihar and all that. and I'm sure you will have good outcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Dilip. You must come home. I've got Krishna, I've got Buddha, and I've also got a statue of Mother Mary just standing together very peacefully in the living.
Fantastic, fantastic thoughts.
See, if you just give such just fundamental basic things, that's what the Abraham is looking for. That we are not monotheists, we are not polytheists. What is the concept of God? That we are, God and us are same, and that we have a library. I mean, and you have a religion of liberty. Nobody is saying what you should and should not do. You explain just in 1 minute or two. That's what they are looking for.
Yep, absolutely. And we have a lot of problems like lack of self-esteem, no unity. So yeah, so we are really in a very catch-22 situation. We are still happy to wear the tag of surviving community in the last 1,000 years. It is still continuing, and it is time organization like VHP tying up with scholars like you and awaken the Hindu masses, whether in India or outside of India. So that's what I want to say. And
I tell you, as a matter of fact, Hinduism is so beautiful, so plural, is so open-minded, and so applicable in today's world rather than those exclusivist, close-minded psychology. Majority of open-minded Westerners, secular pluralists, they will get impressed by when we made a presentation at one of the Jewish synagogue. They say, wait, Hinduism is so beautiful. How come we did not know it? We had to tell them that it's beautiful, but we don't put it in a nice wrapping paper, and that's why our gift doesn't look as good. Point being, we need to reach out and express our opinion to them. Don't be shy. Don't stay within your silo. Reach out.
absolutely.